You've seen that perfect photo online, right? The one with the lone hiker looking out over a stunning alpine lake or a sunset that sets a huge canyon on fire. But what that photo doesn't show you is the 2-hour traffic jam to get into the park, the desperate search for a single parking spot, and the sinking feeling when you realize the one hike you came for requires a permit you never knew you needed. Let's be honest, planning a trip to a US national park can feel less like a vacation and more like a second job. The dream of quiet trails and epic views can get swallowed by the stress of sold-out everything and just so many people. But it doesn't have to be that way. This isn't just another slideshow of pretty places. This is your practical playbook. We're counting down the top 10 national parks in the USA, but more importantly, we're giving you the real, practical advice for each one. We'll cover when you should go, what you need to book, and how to skip the headaches so you can actually experience the wonder. Before we start, here's pro tip number 1. If you think you'll visit more than 2 or 3 parks in a year, just get the America the Beautiful Pass. It's about $80 and gets you into every national park and thousands of other federal sites for a full year. It will absolutely save you money. Now, let's get into it. Number 10. Olympic National Park, Washington. Kicking off our list is a park that honestly feels like 3 different worlds rolled into one. Olympic is incredible because it protects 3 totally distinct ecosystems: the unbelievably green Hoh rainforest, the glacier-covered Olympic Mountains, and a wild, rugged Pacific coastline. That variety is its biggest selling point, but also its biggest planning challenge. Seriously, do not underestimate how long it takes to drive between these different zones. Summer is your best bet for good weather, but spring is amazing for waterfalls that are absolutely roaring. Our practical tip? Treat a visit here like 3 separate mini-trips. Give yourself at least 1 full day for each area. You have to see the mossy trees of the Hoh rainforest, you have to drive up to the views at Hurricane Ridge, and you have to explore the sea stacks at Rialto Beach. And a crucial insider tip: check the tide charts before you go to the coast. You don't want to get stranded by a rising tide. Also, just assume it's going to rain, even in summer. Always be ready for it. Number 9. Joshua Tree National Park, California. This is where 2 deserts, the Mojave and the Colorado, smash together, creating the otherworldly landscape of Joshua Tree. It's famous for those weird, wonderful Joshua trees and giant boulder piles, making it a playground for hikers, climbers, and stargazers. The best time to go is anytime from fall through spring. Do not, under any circumstances, go in the middle of summer. The heat is no joke and can be really dangerous. You'll want to check out the easy Hidden Valley Loop Trail, the sweeping views from Keys View, and the Chala Cactus Garden, which is deceptively beautiful, so look, but please don't touch. Now for the most important advice: there is basically nothing inside the park. No water, no food, no gas. You have to be self-sufficient and bring everything you need for the day with you. And because it has such dark skies, our insider tip is to stay after sunset. The stargazing here is on another level and a totally different way to experience the park's magic. Number 8. Bryce Canyon National Park, Utah. Here's a fun fact: Bryce Canyon isn't really a canyon. It's a collection of natural amphitheaters just filled with thousands of these reddish-orange rock spires called hoodoos. The whole place looks like it was plucked from another planet. It's smaller and more compact than a lot of other parks, which makes it pretty easy to tackle. Visit in the spring or fall to get the most comfortable temperatures. The park has a fantastic and free shuttle bus, and we can't recommend it enough. Use it, especially in peak season, and you won't have to worry about finding parking, which is a huge headache. The must-do activity is hiking the Navajo Loop and Queen's Garden Trail. It takes you down off the rim and lets you walk right among the hoodoos, which really gives you a sense of their incredible scale. Our insider tip: drag yourself out of bed and be at Bryce Point for sunrise. Watching the first light hit the hoodoos and set them on fire with color is something you will never forget. And dress in layers. The temperature can swing like crazy from day to night, even in the summer. Number 7. Grand Teton National Park, Wyoming. Right next to Yellowstone, Grand Teton sometimes gets lost in its neighbor's shadow, but it is absolutely a world-class park. The Teton Range is one of the most stunning mountain landscapes in the entire country, with these jagged peaks that shoot straight up from the valley floor with no foothills. Summer is perfect for hiking and getting out on the lakes, but fall means fewer people and fantastic wildlife spotting. You have to see the famous view from the Snake River overlook, check out the historic barns on Mormon Row, and take the boat shuttle across Jenny Lake. This is prime grizzly and black bear country, so here's our practical tip. always carry bear spray, and please, know how to use it. Start your days early. Wildlife is most active around dawn and dusk. For a bit of a hidden gem that many people miss, drive up the Signal Mountain Summit Road for an amazing panoramic view of the whole Teton Range and Jackson Lake. Number 6. Acadia National Park, Maine. Known as the Jewel of the North Atlantic, Acadia is where the mountains literally meet the sea. It's a gorgeous mix of rocky coastline, granite peaks, and old carriage roads that are perfect for a bike ride. The sweet spot for a visit is from late spring to early fall, and the autumn colors are absolutely spectacular. A drive on the 27-mile Park Loop Road hits the main spots like Sand Beach and Thunderhole. And you can't miss a relaxing walk around the beautiful Jordan Pond. But here's a critical piece of modern advice. If you want to see the sunrise from Cadillac Mountain, one of the first places the sun hits in the US, you now need a vehicle reservation to drive up. These are required for most of the season, from late May to late October, and you book them on recreation.gov. Some are released 90 days out, and the rest just 2 days ahead of time. Don't show up without one, or you'll be turned away. Number 5. Rocky Mountain National Park, Colorado. If you want massive mountain wilderness that's actually easy to get to, it's hard to top Rocky Mountain National Park. We're talking peaks over 14,000 feet, tons of wildlife like elk and bighorn sheep, and hundreds of miles of trails. It's a hiker's dream. Summer is prime time for hiking, while fall is famous for the elk rut and the golden aspen leaves. Driving the Trail Ridge Road is a must-do. It's the highest paved road in North America. A hike around the unbelievably scenic Bear Lake is another essential. Okay, logistics time. This park uses a timed entry permit system during its busy season, usually from late May through mid-October. There are 2 kinds of permits, one that includes the super popular Bear Lake Road corridor and one that doesn't. You have to book these ahead of time on recreation.gov, but our biggest insider tip is to respect the altitude. Seriously. If you're coming from sea level, give yourself a day to acclimate before you try any tough hikes, and drink way more water than you think you need. Number 4. Zion National Park, Utah. Zion is a park that's all about massive scale. The sandstone cliffs here, carved out by the Virgin River, just tower thousands of feet straight up, creating a canyon that will leave you speechless around every bend. Spring and fall have the best weather for hiking. Now, listen up, because this is important. From about March through November, you cannot drive your own car down the main Zion Canyon Scenic Drive. You must use the park's shuttle. It's not a suggestion, it's mandatory. You'll park in the town of Springdale and hop on a shuttle there to get to the park entrance. The 2 legendary hikes here are the Narrows and Angels Landing. For the Narrows, where you'll be hiking in the river, renting proper water shoes and a walking stick from a shop in town is a total game changer. For Angels Landing, you now need a permit for the final, chained number of the trail, and you can only get one through a lottery system. This means you have to plan months in advance just for a chance. And always check for flash flood warnings before you head into any canyon. Number 3. Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. This is the world's very first national park, and it's a geothermal freak show in the best way possible. It sits on a supervolcano, which means it has more geysers and hot springs than the rest of the world combined. It's also one of the best places on the planet to see wildlife. Try to visit in the late spring or early fall. You'll miss the massive summer crowds, and wildlife viewing is often better. You obviously have to see Old Faithful do its thing and gaze at the insane colors of the Grand Prismatic Spring. For wildlife, spend an evening in the Lamar Valley, which is often called the American Serengeti, for a good reason. This park is gigantic. Driving between the big sites can take hours. Get up and out the door as early as you can to beat the traffic, especially to the popular spots. And here's our most important tip. This is serious bear country. Carry bear spray. Stay far away from all wildlife. We're talking 100 yards from bears and wolves. Knowing the safety rules isn't a friendly suggestion, it's absolutely essential for your safety and theirs. Number 2. Grand Canyon National Park, Arizona. You can't have a list like this without the Grand Canyon. The sheer size of this place is just impossible to understand through a photo or video. It's one of those places you just have to see with your own eyes. Spring and fall have the best weather for exploring. The South Rim is open all year and is where most people go. The North Rim is much quieter but is only open from mid-May to mid-October because of snow. The free shuttles on the South Rim are your best friend for getting around to all the different viewpoints. For a great activity that doesn't involve a brutal hike down into the canyon, just walk a number of the rim trail. It's mostly flat and gives you one mind-blowing view after another. But here is the ultimate insider tip. If you want to stay in a lodge inside the park, you need to book it up to a year in advance. They sell out ridiculously fast. For a more last-minute trip, look for hotels in the nearby town of Tucson. If this guide has already saved you from a future planning mistake, do us a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. We put out practical guides like this all the time to help you travel smarter, not harder. And let us know in the comments, which park are you dreaming of visiting next? Number 1. Yosemite National Park, California. And our number 1 spot goes to Yosemite. From the god-like granite cliffs of El Capitan and Half Dome to the thundering waterfalls and ancient giant sequoias, Yosemite is America's crown jewel. It packs so much unbelievable beauty into one valley it feels like it was carved by hand. The absolute best time to visit is late spring when the waterfalls are blasting at full power. Fall is also great for nice colors and fewer people. You have to experience the view from tunnel view, stand at the base of Yosemite Falls and feel the mist, and walk among the giant trees in the Mariposa Grove. But visiting Yosemite today requires more planning than ever. During peak season, think weekends and all summer, a reservation is now required just to drive into the park during the busiest hours. These reservations go live on recreation.gov and are gone almost instantly. So here's our top tip. Once you're in, use the free park shuttles to get around Yosemite Valley. Parking is a nightmare. And if you really want to escape the crowds, get out of the valley and head up to the high country of Tuolumne Meadows. It's a completely different, and much quieter, Yosemite experience. The national parks are America's greatest treasures, but let's be real, they're not hidden gems anymore. The secret is out, and visiting them takes a new level of planning. But please, don't let that stop you. If you book ahead, understand the reservation systems, and plan your days with a little strategy, you can completely sidestep the stress and have the trip of a lifetime. These parks protect the very soul of this country's wild landscapes. They're there for you to explore, to be humbled by, and to find a little inspiration. So do your homework, plan ahead, and go make some memories. You won't regret it.